All right, starting with The Lion Sleeps Tonight on page 172. The first thing I want you to notice is that there are 3 treble clefs. One's right here, there's another one that's highlighted yellow, and another highlighted pink. Each treble clef is on a staff. So there are 3 lines of staff going across the page. Those 3 staves are connected together by this long line right here called a brace. And because this brace goes down the page and connects these 3 staves together, that means that all 3 of these staves, whatever's on them, should all happen at the same time. That means it's 3-part music, that it's for 3 voices or 3 instrument parts to be played or sung at the same time. And of course, you can see the words are all the same, which isn't always the case. But if you notice the notes are not always the same. The first one starts up here on a B. The second one starts on a G. And the bottom one starts on a D. Now, does that ever change? Oh, look, yes, there it does. It moves up to an E. This G stays the same, but it stays the same all the way across the page. The B stays the same for the first measure, and then it jumps all the way up to a C. If you'll notice in the above the staff, there's a C right there and a G right here. These are our chord symbols because a G chord is playing here, which is made up of G, B, and D. And then in the next measure, it's a C chord. C, E is way down here, and then G is right here. So even though they're not lined up C, E, G, like C at the bottom, and then E here, and then G, they're still the C chord because they contain the notes C, E, and G. Same thing with the G chord. Even though G isn't on the bottom, G is right here, and the B, and then the D is there, and so you still have a GBD chord, which means it's a G chord. Okay, moving on to page 173. Notice at the top of the page we still have that brace connecting 3 staves together. The highlighted pink line, the highlighted yellow line, and then that top one that's not highlighted. We still are doing the same words, a weem away, a weem away. Our notes change just a little bit, and we have, very important to notice, at the end of the line, repeat signs. Those 2 dots means to go back and repeat. So basically you're going to repeat the weem aways. So you go back and you do this a second time. After you do this the second time, you then move on to the melody, and which is going to be in verse 1, and everybody sings the same thing. We start off with "In the jungle, the mighty jungle," right there, "In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight." Notice we have a brace again, and it's around these words. Because when you do the first verse and you get to this point of the music, or the second verse or the third verse and you get to this point of the music, you're always going to sing "The Lion Sleeps Tonight." So you basically just have this really short phrase. So "In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight." Then you do the second line, "In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight." And then you go to the refrain. And the refrain, or the chorus, sometimes we call it, has a repeat sign also. But notice it has a repeat sign here and here. That means we're just going to repeat what's between the 2 repeat signs. And so we're just going to repeat these E ways 2 times before we then go all the way to the last line. Oh, wait, sorry, no, that's not right. We actually aren't going to, the last line is called a descant, and that means that on the repeat we can add a higher note. And basically it's just creating a harmony. So sorry, we don't go back and we don't do that line. After this, when the refrain 2 times, then we go back and we do verse 2. And then after we get done with verse 2, we would go back and then do verse 3. "Hush, my darling, don't fear, my darling, the lion sleeps tonight." And then, of course, again, "Hush, my darling, don't fear, my darling, the lion sleeps tonight." away, and then repeat it. And at some point, we're going to go back and do the weem aways again. But we'll talk about that later.